Everybody, today I wanted to do a quick review of the CRKT Pilar. This is a Jesper Vinox, I'm probably going to say that wrong, design, and I picked this up at, I believe it was Cabela's. They had a 25% off sale off all CRKT products, so I was pretty excited about that, and yeah, carried it for about a month now. Really like it, so give you a couple quick specs and then we'll get into the review. So the blade length is 2.4 inches. This is a plain edge. I don't know if they come in serrated or not. I did not see any. The blade steel is an 8CR13 MOV. Blade finish is satin. The thickness is 0.14 inches. The closed length is 3.5 inches. The weight is 4.2 ounces, and it is made of stainless steel throughout the handles. It is also a frame locking knife. Overall length is just shy of 6 inches at 5.9 inches long. So, what do I like? What do I not like? I like the pocket clip, kind of. I like these little indentions right here for the pocket clip to sit down into. It gives it a really good nest, if you will, for it to sit down in there. I think that was a really good job. You can either do tip up or tip down carry, so that's really good. Big lanyard hole, which is nice if you guys are into that kind of thing. Personally, don't put lanyards on my knives, but that's just me. So the let's see what else. This is the back spacer. Pretty thick, and this is a pretty beefy little knife, you know. For only 6 inches, it feels a lot thicker. I really like, let's see if I can get that to focus. I really like the thick spine that this knife has. When you're using it, it really gives you a really good purchase right here just to hold onto the knife. This does look, the top edge does look like a little bit of a profile that could be sharpened if you want to, but as you can see, it's not sharp at all. This thing comes razor sharp out of the box. Good on you, CRKT, for that. I have not sharpened this in any way, shape, or form, and it's still very sharp. So one thing that you'll notice is this choil right here, or this indention, whatever you want to call it. I thought this was pretty cool. So if you look at this knife, I've got about a medium-sized hand. Medium is what I wear in gloves. So if I take this and I go hold it like a traditional knife, little bit on my second finger right here, well, third finger, excuse me, can pretty much get all the way on there, but this fourth finger kind of hangs off. So what CRKT did, excuse me, was they added this extra little choil right here. Now what that does is it gives you a place to put your finger, and then it gives your hand an entire purchase on the handle. Now, I've heard pluses and minuses for this. I've heard some people say, you know, if I'm sitting here and if I'm working with the knife and my hands, or my finger, excuse me, slips, boom, I've cut myself. I can sit here and do this all day long, no blood, nothing. It's not comfortable, but they did a good job of smoothing that piece out. For me, I like it because it gives me a really good purchase on the blade. The other thing is if I want to get really high up on the back end of the blade, on the spine, I can really fit my entire hand up and over this knife to give me a really good control. So I think it's really good. I was a little leery when I bought this thing of this finger hole, I guess you could call it. I've always had studs on the tops of my knives, or flippers, and those have seemed to work out really well for me. I've never had one with I've never owned a Spyderco or anything like that with just a hole here, so I was a little bit leery of that. But as you can see, well, flicks open well if you do what you're supposed to do. The knife is very smooth out of the box. Didn't really require any tuning, and it's pretty easy to sit here and fold open and closed with one hand. So it's pretty enjoyable to flick around. Now, one criticism that I will say about the knife, I wish that the clips, the pocket clips, if you will, had a couple of things. One, I wish they had a opportunity for our left-handed folks. They seem to get jimped out all the time. So wish they had some clips over here or some places to mount the clip on this side. I also wish that the CRKT group or whoever designed this knife would make this a little bit more of a ribbon pocket clip. And what I mean by that is, you know, the way this sits in your pocket, basically where my finger is on up here is where it is sticking out of the knife. If this thing, or sticking out of your pocket, excuse me, if this thing were to ribbon up and over, up past these bolts, the only thing that you would see is this little tip of the knife there, which I think would be a lot better. Personal opinion, take it for what it's worth. If you also, the only other negative I would say, and it's gotten better, I'm curious to see more over time what happens with it, is this frame lock. Now, the positive on this is it's not going anywhere. I mean, this thing locks up rock solid and does not go anywhere. You know, you can see that the frame lock does a very good job of locking straight up, no issues. However, pushing it back can be a little bit of a chore. This is loosened up since I've gotten it, thank God, because at first it was pretty hard to get back and forth. But part of the reason I believe was because when I got it in its clamshell packaging, it was open like this. So this frame lock had been sitting in for a long time. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's just my head, we'll see. So overall, really great knife. I really like it. I've been carrying it every day for about a month now, and so it's about to get put back in the drawer so I can get a couple other blades through the EDC and make sure that giving all the knives a little bit of love. But for the money, street price anyway, on CRKT's website it says it's I believe it's like 40 bucks. For me it's a little steep for a little knife like this, but you pick it up for 20, 30 bucks. Amazon, Cabela's, anywhere CRKT knives are sold, and it does very well. So highly recommend it. Great knife. Good little butcher looking blade, if you will. Looks like a little butcher's blade, which I think is great. Good for chopping, things like that. I've opened many a box with this. Again, I have not sharpened this since having it for a month, and still cuts through no problem. You know, if you're interested in a little bit more paper test, this is an old receipt, and it'll cut through no problem. So, like I said, I have not sharpened this thing. I have not tuned it up at all. Came out of the box the way that it is, and it's really great. So, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If I left anything out, please let me know. I'll be glad to answer anything you guys have. But like I said, CRKT Pilar, great little knife, great little EDC blade. Recommend picking one up if you're looking for a small blade to keep in your pocket. Thanks, guys. Cheers.